Welcome back, guys, and today we are jumping back into SnowRunner to take a look at a brand new truck that is available on both PC and consoles, and that is Glitchworks' new D150. Now, this is based on a Dodge D150, but don't let the name fool you. This truck still has a fairly heavy-duty frame and the option to go for a diesel engine. So, those of you guys that are going to say, wait a minute, it can't have the Cummins diesel, it's a D150. This is a D150 with the option to take it a little bit higher in the range with the trucks that had the stronger frames and the diesel engines. So do bear that in mind. Now, this truck also has the options to go with this particular suspension, which is kind of a everyday lift kit, you know, get stuff done around the farm, this, that, and the other thing. Then there's also a bigger lift kit that you can use for some more hardcore exploring, and there's also a full monster truck setup for when you really need to go over the top and throw some gigantic tires underneath it. But without any further ado, we're going to fire this thing up, we're going to take it into the garage, and we're going to see what this thing is all about when it comes to the customization. It sounds really, really good too, and all of those interior gauges actually work. So your RPM gauge works, your speedometer works, it all works. And it's actually, in terms of the base setup, it is no slouch off the line either. Now, heading straight into the customization, you've got the base 12-valve swap, you've got the tuned 12-valve, and you've got the fully built 12-valve. That's going to be your A-, S, and S+ rated engines. We're going to go with the S+ built 12-valve. Gearboxes wise, you have the 5-speed default, which is still, as we saw earlier, pretty quick. Then you have the 6-speed highway box, and you also have the 4-speed off-road box. We're going to begin with the 4-speed off-road box, and then later on in the video, we're going to switch over to the 6-speed highway box for maximum speed. Now, once we install that, we have a few different options. We've got, in terms of suspension, the normal height setup. We've got the monster truck setup, which is over the top and ridiculous, and we've also got the lifted setup, which is based loosely on a 12-inch Skyjacker lift kit. So we're going to start off with that, and then we're going to switch over to the monster setup a little bit later on in the video. Now, the only tires that you can't fit on this particular suspension are going to be the Monster Spec tires. This is designed around the 36s and the 43s, which are available in basically every single tire option that he has on this thing, except for, once again, these 51-inch Monster tires, which require the Monster suspension. You also have 2 chain tire options should you want to use this truck in an icy or snowy environment. Now, for the first part of our test, we're actually going to run something that we don't always run on Glitch's trucks, but I think we're actually going to run these GWC TSLs. These are a little bit different from what we would normally run, but I actually think they look really good on this truck. Now, you have an old school style roll bar, you've got a bed cap, you've got a bed cover, and you've got a toolbox. We're going to do the toolbox. And then tow bar mounted, I mean, that's going to be a GGMS add-on. That doesn't come with the truck. And then snorkel-wise, definitely installing the snorkel. We're also going for the aftermarket bumper. It's a really good, strong-looking steel bumper design. And then you've got V1 and V2 steps. We'll go with the V1 steps. And then front bumper-wise, my personal favorite is the fog lighter bumper with the winch. But the brush guard and the lighted woods bumper are also really good. Now, exhaust-wise, you've got the side dump exit exhaust, you've got the hood stack, and you've got the bed stacks. For my build, I've really been a fan of the hood stack, but the bed stacks are also really, really good. I think I'm going to go with the hood stack on this particular build, but that is a very personal preference that's completely up to whatever you guys want to do with your build of this truck. Now, you've got cab lights or a visor, and you can go really either way. I personally prefer the cab lights, but that's also up to you. Wheels-wise, you got a pretty good selection. So my personal favorites out of all the wheels that Glitch gives us with this truck are actually the GWC Process and the GWC Mode. I'm going to go with the Process on this build because they kind of look like a method wheel, but there's really no wrong way to go in terms of getting this thing set up on the wheels that you like. Now, he really went all in on making sure that you had a lot of two-tone color options on this truck, and I can really appreciate that because there are a lot of two-tone colored first gens out there, and the two-tone on these trucks, I think, at least to me, is actually a really desirable option. So now, let's leave the garage and see what this thing is like to drive. And dude, does it look freaking great or what? That sound just sounds so right. It's very old school. It's very like, it's very no, you know, like no complications, no all over the place like procedures, no this, that, or the other thing. It's literally just set up and good to go. Now, you're not going to be pulling any goosenecks with this rig, but you do have a massive selection of pull-behinds, obviously depending on how many pull-behind trailer mods you have installed on your device. Now, let's head on out to the trails. I say trails, more like let's head on out to the obstacles and see what this thing is like out there. Now, I will be using first-person view a little bit more than normal in this video because this thing has not only the working dash, the working gauges, but it's also got working mirrors. The working mirrors, to me, always add so much to the, like, really to the fun factor of using the truck, I think. And for a lot of people that enjoy playing this game in first-person view, I think working mirrors are always going to add a massive amount of immersion to your actual driving experience. Now, I'm pretty sure it's gonna monster the hill climb, but just out of curiosity, I'm gonna park it literally right at the bottom of the hill and see what it can do. In 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, yeah, it's, it monsters it. It monsters it very easily. Now, I do want to see what this thing is like through some rocks as well, especially considering the fact that, oh my god, wow, those rocks are usually a lot slicker than that. Because these rocks are designed, obviously, as stock, you know, vanilla in-game rocks, and they're always very slippery. They're always insanely slippery, actually. And let's actually back up a little bit, because that was, dude, that's a pretty good flex for a leaf spring truck. Like, I'm not mad about that at all. That looks really good. But anyways, going on into these rocks, if a truck can make its way through these with no problem, and these are default game rocks, it will have absolutely zero issue making its way through a map like, you know, TNB Trails that has purpose-built rocks that have more grip. Now, I cannot believe that we didn't roll over back there. That was so close to rolling over, and this thing just absolutely took it like a champ. Just took a little bit of deliberate and smooth driving, which I won't take full credit for. I mean, a lot of that is the truck, obviously, but I mean, I'm very proud of what it did back there, though, for sure. Now, let's see how the setup does in the mud. Now, the TSLs should be pretty good in the mud. I have a hunch that they will be. I mean, I've been wrong about what tires will be good in the mud before, but I think that these have a pretty good chance at being really good. Oh, wow. Well, it laughs at the shallow mud. Let's see how it does in the deeper stuff. Into it goes. Come on. Oh, dude, I'm very impressed with that. I'm very, very impressed with that. I'm feathering the throttle, and, okay, kind of the medium mud depth is where it starts to spin in high, but if you put it back in automatic mode and it goes back to first gear, you'll be A-okay. And if you really need to, you can just lock it in low range and just cruise through whatever mud you're in. It's going to be a little bit of a slower go, but that's not to say that you're not going to get through it. It will get you through it, make no mistake. Find a little bit of grip at the front axle, and then just nice and easy pulls it right out. It's actually very realistic feeling with the way he's tuned it to behave in the mud. I really like the way he's actually tuned this thing to behave in the mud, and these tires work super well. I mean, they're very predictable. They're very, like, I mean, obviously they work very, very well in the mud on their own, but the way he's tuned them and set them up, they feel like they're at just the right tire pressure, too. I know tire pressure tuning isn't a thing in SnowRunner, but I mean, obviously, if theoretical tire pressure is something that a mod creator thinks about when he's setting up a vehicle, I mean, it definitely feels like Glitch has set it up the right way on this one. I'm going a little bit diagonally just to try to not snag my bumper. I'm sure I'm still snagging it just a little bit, but I'm not too worried about what that's gonna do to my rig. I mean, it's gonna eat the back bumper just a little bit. It's gonna drag the back bumper too. But I mean, as long as you drive it in a very slow, deliberate, well, I say slow-ish, yet very deliberate way, it will absolutely reward you. It's a very rewarding truck to drive. And I mean, I cannot get over how good the truck looks in general. I mean, Glitch absolutely knocked it out of the park in the looks department. He really, really, really did. Let's give it a run down this back trail now and see how it, well, wait a minute. Let's not smash it into everything in our path. Before we do that, let's try to not smash it into everything in front of us. All right, so let's head down this back trail now and see how far we can keep it in high for. And so far, I mean, it's getting down. It's absolutely getting into it. Just easy. I can roll onto the power kind of whenever I want to as well. So long as I keep, you know, an eye on the truck's footing, I think I'll be okay. I almost lost my power there, though. I could feel that I was almost about to stall it out, but man, through this entire back trail, even through those mud pits, I mean, a little bit of feathering the throttle, sure, but I have not had to take it out of high range, and I have not stalled it out. I mean, I almost did there, but I also almost flipped it, so I'm not going to blame that on the truck. I'm going to blame that on my driving, clearly. Oh, no! Oh, I flipped it. Okay. Well, I mean, you always got to find the limit of where a truck starts to tip over, and I think when it comes to this thing, oh, we definitely found it, but at the end of the day, it monsters everything that it goes through. It really does. And then you can just turn it off the main road whenever you want, climb up some rocks, and be on your way. I'm, again, very impressed by the way this truck drives. Very impressed. All right, so now we're going to switch things up a little bit. We're going to do a repair, then we're going to do the monster suspension, and then we're going to do, wait a minute. That's not what I wanted. Where are the giant monster tires? Give them to me. Where are the... Why are they not available? Oh, monster. There we go. There we go. That's exactly what I was looking for. And then once you get the highway transmission in there with the monster tires, dude, you guys already know what this thing is about to do. It's about to be bridge jump time for this truck. 100%. I am actually kind of curious as to, though, like, how the monster tires grip on rocks. Better than I thought. A lot better than I thought, actually. Like, way, way the heck better than I thought. Look at that. Just walks right up it with literally no question in its mind at all. Oh, boy. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 4th gear already. 5th gear already. Jeez, all right. Oh, my God. I think it just shifted again there. Come on! It landed just fine, but I think the initial ramp hit already broke the suspension. That's wild that that initial ramp hit had enough momentum in it to just entirely demolish the suspension, like, as it stood. That's pretty crazy. Like, in all reality, that's pretty wild that all it took was that one hit to demolish the suspension. And, you know, maybe he was going for a little bit more of a realistic amount of suspension health, which I completely understand if that's the route he was trying to take. But, like, regardless of that, super fun truck, really well put together, really fun to drive, and if you guys have not checked this thing out yet, you absolutely should. Again, like I said before, it's going to be available on PC and consoles. It should already be available on your console mod browser, and with that all being said and done, hope you all enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys next time. Talk to you all later.